Today, we're going to focus in this recipe on paprika. Now, paprika is one of those spices that instantly brings out the flavor of any meat, especially when it comes to chicken. Now, combine this with Clover Classic dairy snack and garlic, and you've got yourself a winning recipe every time. To complete this recipe, we're also serving up a side of butternut. Sounds delicious, Dumi. Let's get stuck in.
Let me get stuck in, Balisa. I'm going to be halving our butternut. Now, I know most people, when they have butternut, tend to remove the skin and want to eat only the flesh. But what we're doing here is we're keeping the skin, because if you don't know, when you cook down butternut, you actually are able to eat the skin as well. If you let it cook down, it's so edible, it's so beautiful.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. Keep that skin on. Just give it a thorough wash, but keep that skin on, because it really almost sort of brings another whole texture to it and really cooks down. And it, like most things, you know, not just the flavour, but all the nutrients is lying in the skin.
It is all in that barrier.
Yes, Bale. So to start it off, I'm just going to cut up my butternut in half, chop up some garlic and rosemary, that all go on top, and that then gets served along this beautiful spatchcock chicken that Chef's going to show us.
What we need to do with this here is breasts go down, all right? So face the breasts down there, and that's basically how your chicken actually
That waddles.
goes. Waddles about, eh? Well, not quite waddles, not a duck. Remember, this one runs. Anyway, okay, so that's going to be going down. So make sure breasts are down. You got your legs and thighs across there, and then we all know the parson's nose. Now, what we've got coming in here is a thigh leg coming into here, and there's a ball and socket joint. So actually, if you actually get in there and you actually feel, or you give it a bit of a wiggle waggle, you'll actually find where that joint is. So it's actually right there. So really important, we need to actually cut through that joint on either side. So running down the middle here is obviously the spine of the chicken with the carcass coming across there, you know, sort of protecting the bird. So what you do is get a pair of scissors and just snip in there to start with.
That makes so much sense, Chef Chart, because essentially I've always thought it's almost impossible to be able to cut open through the spine of that chicken. I'm always wondered how you're able to like spread it apart for it to be that flatty, that spatchcock.
That's what you want. And you want to just break that little knuckle on the side there, which goes through the thigh bone there, and then cut it all the way through. And again, remember that wing, it's also got a bit of a joint as well. So going through, and you've got it that side. So what you've done is you've opened and removing that spine section. Now what you're going to do then, flip it around, so do like 180 degrees.
Boom.
And then you go the other side of the chicken and you're cutting through there. You're going to find that little joint again, so give it a bit of a wiggle so you know where you've got to cut through, so you're not going to be cutting through the flesh of the chicken and losing any of that thigh meat there. So just keep working that there. You need a really good strong pair of scissors. The alternative to this, do you know there's an alternative?
Talk to me.
Put this in a bag, get in your car, forward, reverse,
Oh my
done,
goodness.
you know?
I should know better when it comes to Chef Chart. You're always pulling my leg in the kitchen. But it's not about pulling my leg, it's about pulling apart this chicken. So as you are just showing us the perfect way to add that, make that flatty, make that spatchcock spread out quite well, let me get started on that delicious sauce that we're going to be adding as the base of it. So going to help me is my helper in the kitchen, which is this delicious Clover Classic dairy snack. Now, I'm going to take maybe 2 spoons, Dumi?
Yeah, let's say 2.5 tablespoons of that.
2.5 tablespoons.
Very specific to me. Yeah. It's like,
love
no,
that.
2's not good enough that you've indicated, but 2.5 would be good.
Because that extra half makes all the difference. Because let me break it down for you, South Africa. It's just all about this Clover Classic dairy snack. It's deliciously smooth every single time. It's a creamy dairy snack. And also, it is made with Clover's unique recipe. So it essentially, you can't get this anywhere else, baby. This is nothing but the best. But also, I'm going to elevate it by adding the other different flavors in front of me. And this is essentially what's going to put together
That's all the wonderful flavors that you've got, you know, going in there. And some of the yogurt, it just really breaks down, it tenderizes things. So sugar. Now people go, oh my goodness, what are we putting sugar in there? But again, remember, sugar's going to bring that wonderful caramelization that you're going to get from when you're actually roasting this there. The zest bringing a wonderful little freshness. Bit of garlic. I mean, who doesn't love a bit of garlic, eh?
Love it.
Absolutely. And a little bit of thyme and chicken goes so well. If you haven't got thyme, rosemary works just as well. Marjoram, oregano. So think of your medium to hard herbs for this instance really work well. And then paprika.
We did speak about paprika.
All you do is just mix all that together. And then I'm going to take our flatty and I'm going to do again another 180. And this time put it down so its breasts are up, legs are slightly apart. And we just need to sort of just smash it down. Get in there. Yeah. Squish the chicken, yeah? Any bit of frustration, you're not happy with anything, you know, this is the moment you can get in there. And there we go with our flatty. Then taking your knife, and we just want to score through the actual skin very slightly and a little bit of the flesh. Again, think of where your thick parts are. So this is a nice thick part, so we can just make an incision in there, an incision in there. Right, here again, we've got a nice sort of meaty part. There, again an incision, there an incision, and then through the breast as well. Okay, you might have to really turn on its side, plump it up a little bit, and then make an incision on that side.
Chef,
Turn
as
it
you are
over.
making these incisions, what I've noticed about a spatchcock chicken, a flatty as other people might call it, is that it definitely cooks almost 1/3 as faster than a normal full rounded chicken. Why?
It's going to, because you haven't got that whole big cavity as well. So you've really got everything uniform. So look at the thickness from this side to that side, it's all the same. So what I'm going to do is take your lovely marinade that you've got in here and pop that on either side there. And I mean, to me, there's only really one way. You just got to massage it all in there. So get all this flavour into there.
And you know, Domi, one thing that we always do bring up when it comes to a Clover Classic is that it's essentially a source of 10 vitamins. Now, that is nutrients on another level. And today, we've used the 1 kg size, but it also comes in a 500 gram size. I love the little bite-sized snack portion in the 175 grams. But also, you can get it in a 6-pack, which is the 100 grams. So there's options for the entire family to be able to enjoy. And today we're using it on our chicken, but on your side, you're almost done. In fact, done with our butternut side.
I'm done with our butternut, and I love the fact that this is a dish that could also be prepared on the open fire. You know, you could do this on a braai. What Chef is doing right now works perfectly, Chef. So can you want to just tell us through how you do it on a...
So generally, we're going to roast this in the oven, which we've done, and you get this lovely golden colour, and it's wonderful. You know, you're looking at sort of 200 degrees. You know, again, you know your oven well enough. If it's fine, very hot, just bring it down very slightly.
Yeah.
And in there for anything from about you're starting to look from 45 minutes, depending on the size of the chicken, up to an hour on there. But again, if you want to put it onto onto your braai, absolutely. Make sure your hand can hold on there for a good 8 to 10 seconds. You don't want something really hot and fierce. If you do have your fire that's too hot, pop it on a slightly higher, get all the colour, and then lift it higher up. So the higher it can cook all the way through to the centre.
Without burning.
Without burning at the end of the day, because remember, all this is going to burn if we're not careful.
Perfect. So we've got the options in the oven or over the braai. We've got it all for you. But also remember, you can simply head over to afternoonexpress.co.za to get this recipe.
So we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic.
The classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.